Today, any chance that this is Aaron Rodgers' only year with the Jets, one and done? Maybe he goes to the NBA. Meanwhile, are the Bills focused too much on the Super Bowl? They've got a poster. And finally, what Caleb Williams says about being Mahomes 2.0 alongside Chris Broussard. I'm Kevin Wildes. Nick, your Mahomes 2.0 thing, is that a trademark thing? Or?
Well, listen, I'm just used to people ripping off my great takes that are weeks or months or years ahead. But, yeah, I mean, I was probably the first one to call him Mahomes 2.0. But Caleb doesn't like it. But I said it to him on our show when he was sitting there.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Right. Brew thinks he's Bubby Brisker or something. I don't know.
I like him a lot, but not as much as 1.0. I'll tell you that.
We start with the coach's code. Jets OC Nat Hackett commented on Sean Payton's derisive description of his tenure as Broncos head coach. Here's Coach Hackett. Take a listen.
As a coach, as a coach's kid, we live in a glass house. We know that. We all live in different rooms. We all got a key for it. And it's one of those things that there's a code, there's a way things are done in that house. And this past week, it's frustrating and it sucks, but we're all susceptible to it. There are things that you do, mistakes you make, and it costs you time on the field, costs you your job, all those things. And I own all that stuff.
Okay, your reaction.
All right, Sean Payton really blew up the best thing Denver had going for him, which was flying under the radar, lack of attention, lack of expectations. Because we are now on day 5 of this story. It started last week. So maybe day 6 of this story. Thursday night, the Jets play in the Hall of Fame game. You think it's going to be a big point of discussion during a broadcast amongst a majority practice squad guys or guys who won't make the team? Of course. You know what happens Tuesday? In 6 days from now, the first episode of Hard Knocks. You think that's going to be covered significantly there, and we're going to get new info and new sound bites, and then a week from today, we're going to be talking about it again. Schefter tweeted out moments before it went on the air, the first week this year that you can flex schedule Sunday night is week 5.
Oh, nice.
And now week 5 currently is Cowboys-Niners. So that's probably staying there. But the fact that my point is this is again, been out of nowhere, the story of the NFL for a week. And the Broncos are right back under the microscope where they melted last year. And so and I'll say one other thing. Nat Hackett has become a sympathetic figure.
Correct.
Yeah. Because some guys get fired. When Urban Meyer got fired after, midway through year 1 or late in year 1, nobody felt badly for him. People thought he was treating people poorly, treating his players poorly, all of that. Nobody thought Nat Hackett was a bad guy, but we all, and I was, one of the leaders of it, poked fun at what was cartoonishly bad clock management. But that doesn't make you a bad guy. And now he's there and he's like, hey, it cost you your job. And so I just think Sean Payton really, really butchered this.
Well, to your point, he did come off in that press conference.
It's great.
He did come off like, man, I see why Aaron Rodgers really likes it. I thought the same thing. I was like, man, this dude comes off as great. And Nick, I don't say this very often to you, but good take.
Oh,
that was a good take.
Wow.
All right, I agree with that. But I'm going to bring a little back to the middle. I'm fine with what Nat Hackett said. All right. But I think that Sean Payton was trying to protect his quarterback, his new quarterback, who he's obviously got to be on the same page with. And he went a tad bit overboard. But let's stop acting like he committed some egregious crime. Okay, because that's kind of what it's getting to. All right. And I know there's a code. All right. But the code's been broken many times before. Maybe not that exact element of it. And Wildes, I'm sorry, but how many times did Bill Belichick and the Patriots break the code by cheating?
Well,
isn't that a code?
Yeah, but those were big stories. Whenever it happened.
But I'm just saying that's a code, and that's much worse than some comments that Sean Payton made. How about Aaron Rodgers? Because the Jets, as you said about Nat Hackett and Aaron Rodgers, they are coming off, they're kind of being, at least Rodgers, a little bit self-righteous. How many times has he broken the code by throwing his teammates under the bus?
Well,
we just saw it last year when he threw the young, whoever's making mistakes. We got too many guys making mental mistakes. They need to stop playing as much. Our own Greg Jennings, obviously a teammate with Rodgers, chastise Rodgers over that. That's a broken code. So all I'm saying is, he said something mean about Nate Hackett. Fine. Let's settle it on the football field as they will do in week 5.
Can I have one more thing? Just because I do think Nat Hackett became a sympathetic figure. Here are the numbers on Sean, on the Broncos team last year. Man, this is why a lot of press conferences or when you're meeting with a reporter, it's helpful to carry around an iPad and just be like, Dusty, and then you can just put it on Dusty. Just like, here's the graphic. You tell me, was that a good coaching job or not?
He could have just said they were last in everything. It wasn't on Russ. He could have just left it at that.
But that's the problem. The problem is, do we think that the reason they were last in everything, the primary culprit is the coach?
Yes, I do. Now, I'm not saying Russ doesn't have you guys. He's not blameless, but Nat Hackett, yes.
So if Nat Hackett was the coach last year of the Chiefs, what would the rankings have been? Hold on. We'll start with the Chiefs. If he was the coach last year of the Bengals, if he was the coach last year of the Eagles, what do we think? We think they'd be 27th, 28th? This is why.
We don't know.
Hold on a second. Wait. This is why those numbers to me are not a
blame. They're the ones throwing the football. But you're not putting those two situations largely on the coaches?
No, I do think the Urban Meyer thing is a different situation in that you do have a rookie, non-established quarterback, and you are trying to install a culture. That is and he did a terrible job of that. But the idea that if that's the case, then the Broncos should be really good. If the coach has that much of an impact, and they went from the worst we've ever seen to a guy who might be a Hall of Famer, I think the coach is very important. I think that laying at the feet of what happened to the Broncos last year was a quarterback they paid because they thought he was an MVP caliber guy, was by all of us at this table agree, was a bottom 5 quarterback in football. That is not on the head coach.
I think you're underestimating the importance of coaching in the NFL. It is far more important than any of the other sports. Basketball,
and a great quarterback that has been in the league 10 years turn into a bottom 5 quarterback because of coaching? Is that possible?
I mean, we just saw it. So I guess so.
No, he was on it. So you think Russ is going to be a great quarterback again?
I think Russ is going to be a very good quarterback with Sean Payton. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Sean Payton. I believe it's Sean Payton.
Okay. Yeah, I think
he had Jameis Winston in the dark horse.
There is not.
That's 100% correct.
Okay. I'm baffled by that.
Doug Peterson has turned Trevor Lawrence into the prince.
Hold on. Every quarterback between year 1 and year 2, that's great, takes a big leap. Quarterbacks at high draft picks throw a bunch of picks as rookies all the time. Yeah. Urban Meyer also, it was not just about clock management and stuff. He was allegedly kicking players and insulting his coaches. The whole thing was a mess. That is different. People did not hate Nat Hackett. He was brutal at clock management and the execution of things. But if you are telling me you think that if you took over to coach the Cincinnati Bengals, they would all of a sudden be the worst in football. Joe Burrow would be a bottom 5 quarterback.
Honestly, 100%.
Okay,
I wouldn't know.
You're underestimating coaching. We saw what Jeff Saturday. How'd he do? What? Huh? How'd he do when they just threw him in there and had him coach?
They did the same as they were doing before.
No, they were playing better. I mean, they weren't playing great, but they were playing better than they did with him. I don't understand it. Coaching,
of course, coaching's important. You can't take a great quarterback. Show me the other instance of a great quarterback who was still great, who a coach 1 year comes in, ruins him, and then he's great again. Show it to me. I want to know it. I want to know the great
I'll just say, off the top of my head, I can't give you that, but I can say that Aaron Rodgers was struggling for a couple of years in Green Bay, and then when Matt LaFleur got there, and Nat Hackett as the OC, he went to another level again.
That I agree with, but Aaron Rodgers was never